Olive oil and cheese. Right, good. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
As I have told you, well, surprise. Well, let me introduce Mr. Jerome and Melissa. They are members of the American Peace Corps. Okay, they are here as guest speakers. I think the ground is yours. It is yours. Or is theirs?
I see. Good morning, how are you? Volunteer in Air Food.
Yes.
All right.
Hayat Salam.
Hayat Salam. Hayat Salam Air Food. Originally, I am from a place in the United States called Baltimore, Maryland. You guys ever heard of Baltimore, Maryland?
Yeah. Baltimore.
What do you know about Baltimore?
A lot. We watch movies there.
So do I. It's nothing like that. Speaking of movies, have any one of you guys ever seen a movie or program called The Wire? The Wire.
Why?
Okay. Good. You've seen it?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes, it's good.
What do you think?
It's a little bit old, but
It's a
it's
little
good.
bit old. That was actually my neighborhood, where I'm from. I'm from a place called West Baltimore. That's Saratoga Street Projects. Yeah, that's my neighborhood. It's a great place. Some of the things that Baltimore is famous for. Baltimore is famous for The Wire. Also, we're famous for seafood. Baltimore is considered the crab cake capital of the world. We've been here. I've been here since September of last year. We're in country for 2 years. We got here in September of 2016. When we first got here, I was in Aguirre. I was in Aguirre for 3 months, and then we were assigned here. What I do is that I teach English in the Dar Shabab to students, many of them like yourself. Before I came here, I was a business owner. I owned a transportation company. I provided transportation to older adults, as well as which we call back in the United States, individuals with disabilities, also handicap homes. I had a fleet of buses and over 80 employees. So my background is that I have a master's degree in business. I train individuals on how to operate businesses. I help individuals in starting businesses. So when you guys get out of college, if you want to know how to run a business and start a business, give me a call. That's my specialty. Also here, I also teach business English, not just in the Dutch, but also here. It's called Lafak. Yes, I work with the PhD students on business writing, resume writing, and things such as that.
If you find the connection between American culture and Moroccan culture.
Do I find a connection?
Yes.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that the Moroccan culture is very family-oriented, very family-centered, and in a lot of ways, the African-American community is the same. What I find is that when Africans were taken from here to America, what is not reported a lot is that a lot of our African values and cultures did go with us.
Yeah.
And what's happening now, and what I'm seeing now, is that those African cultures that were in us was kind of morphed into a type of culture that's suitable for American value system. So in the African American communities, we still have a lot of family-centered activities, and that's one of the similarities that I think is very fascinating with the Moroccan culture, is that family-centered orientation. And then also, one of the other things that I've noticed as a parent is that my kids, I'm on the phone for 3 hours explaining to them about the Moroccan culture. So I think that the curiosity is also some the youth, the guys in America that your age are about as curious as the hip hop culture, the internet culture, and everything as you probably are. I think one day, hopefully, what will be great is there's a Skype that could be done with you guys in an American classroom, and you probably go back and forth for hours just yapping.
You can find it a little bit awkward. I just want to ask about Detroit and Compton, Michigan State.
About what?
Detroit and Compton in Michigan State.
About Michigan State? The university? Or
No.
the state of Michigan?
Yes. Both cities of Detroit and Compton. You talked about hip hop influence and all that. We can say fights that we can see in the movies. Is it
true? Is it true? Okay, so I can't talk about the Detroit culture and the Compton culture, but I can talk about is Baltimore have a very strong urban hip hop culture. It's not true. What happens a lot of times is that you have to be careful what you see on television, because what you see on television is made to attract your attention. So a lot of times what you will see is what's called hype. They're going to hype it, and what I mean by hype is that it's going to be exaggerated. Hype, just so that you have, hype is what we call street language, right? Hype, right?
Since September, I just want to ask you about our education system here in Morocco. So what do you think about it?
And the students I work with are the PhD doctorate students. And working with the doctorate students back home, once again, just like you guys, they are extremely inquisitive, which means that they're very bright and they want to learn a lot. I think, there's similarities. Honestly, you guys are a lot more mild-mannered than a lot of kids back home. The American school system is very, very hype. So as a result, they could tend to be a lot more excited than you guys are. It takes them a lot longer to quiet down. When you came in, you sat down, and you were ready for class. In American class, it takes a minute. It takes about a couple of minutes before that, it settles down.
So more like how becoming a successful entrepreneur.
You know what? Honestly, I get that question a lot. I do. I get that question a lot. How do you become a successful business or entrepreneur?
Yeah.
And my answer is simple. Find something that you would do for free. Okay? And what I mean by that is that as a business owner, you're going to be in your business from morning to night, sometimes 3-4 days, right? So if you're going to be there that long, make sure it's something that you like to do. Not something that you're good at. Not something that you're good at, something that you enjoy. Find something that you would do for completely free. If no one paid you, you would still do it. Whether it's drawing, whether it's sewing, whether it's playing an instrument, whatever. Find something that you would do for free. And even if you're not good at it, if you do it long enough and you do it often enough, you'll eventually become good at it, right? So if you would do it for free, that's something that will make a good business, because whether they pay you or not, you're willing to do it, right? So that's the best type of business to get into. Something that just gives you, that's a pain and you don't like, leave it alone. Because you're not going to want to do it for 16, 18, 20 hours a day, right?
So hi. When talking about the American culture, it's not that old. So I just wanna know about how deep is the American culture.
How deep?
Yes.
That's interesting. American culture American culture is an interesting animal. It's evolving. And what I mean by it's evolving is that American culture is made up of a lot of influences. There are people that came from Africa. There are people that came from Europe. There are people who were already there when Europeans came to the country, called Native Americans. And back in the early 1900s, the 1901, there was a massive immigration, or migration as it's called. When it's coming in, it's called migration too. So there was a lot of immigrants coming from other countries, Italy, Poland, Germany, all over, that brought the influence. So American culture is really not that deep because it's not that old, and it's made up of so many different other cultures from all over the planet.
Of the United States, it's a big state. It's a big area of the U.S., but not a lot of people live where I live. So I'm from the capital city of Nebraska called Lincoln. I went to university there. I don't know what else to say. I studied international relations and geography, and I scooped ice cream for my job. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I don't have as much life experience as Jerome, but
Another way of saying old, He's calling me old.
But I also lived in Salem, Oregon. Does anyone know Oregon? I lived in Oregon when I was young too. So yeah, that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, me too. I want to hear some other voices.
Yeah.
What is it like to study in America?
Sorry.
To study in America,
How is it to study? Are you talking about high school or college or university?
Can you talk about it?
Like all of it? Okay. High school is very different than here, the way it's scheduled. So I woke up at 7:30, class started at 8, and then you stay in the school until 3. You don't leave the school. You eat at school. You don't have, it's 30 minutes for lunch, and each teacher has their own classroom, so students move around more than teachers do. So it's from 8 to 3, and then where I come from, a lot of people had like jobs after. So
can you tell us about your career in Morocco and what do you think about Moroccan people?
Okay, an association and the Darshana, and I arrived with Jerome last September, and so far I've loved it. It's different from the U.S. It takes time to adjust, but I have a lot of people in Rastani that I care about, that are like my family. So I love it here. Yeah.
You said you are giving lessons to students in Dar Shabab. Did you find some difficulties to communicate with people?
Yes. I'm very bad at Darisha. And I just started Dar Shabab classes, and we don't have a lot of people yet coming to class. But at the association I work at, I teach low-level English, and it's very difficult to explain why we speak the way we do in English. Why is it in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night? English is difficult to explain because I speak English. I don't think about English. I've never heard of collocations and
of women 2 years ago. So I was to analyze the position of women and her progression. So in America, is there inequality between men and women? How women is in America?
In in a lot of regards, women are equal in America, but there's still the same issues that we have here in Morocco. So in Morocco, when you're walking down the street, sometimes men will, hello, how are you? You know, they say things. We have that problem it's called catcalling in the US. And we have the same problem. You know, it can be uncomfortable walking down the street in the United States. In the US, in a lot of professions, women don't get paid as much as men do. We get paid 70 cents to the dollar. For every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 70 cents. So it's, you know, in the world, women's rights, it's very new, and it happens very quickly. So in the 1950s, women in the US, they stayed at home, they cared for the babies, they didn't have jobs, and then 50 years later, it's a big change and it's very quick. And so there's some problems with the way people think don't always catch up to what's happening. So there's a lot of people there's groups of people in the US that don't believe women should have all the same rights, but most people agree that women should be equal. And it depends where you are, and because as Jerome mentioned, there's a lot of different groups in the US, and there's different levels of, there's different cultures in the US. So, you know, in the US, there's a lot of people that are very religious, and so they believe that, you know, women have their place, men have their place, and it shouldn't be changed. But it depends who you talk to. In my experience, I've had all this. I went to university. I'm in Peace Corps now. I want to continue my education, and I don't see anything that will hold me back from that. So I feel like I've really benefited from equality in the U.S. Yeah? Oh, I don't know.
What was the question?
What makes America so developed, even if it's not that old?
What makes America so developed, if it's not that old? America at one point did heavy investment in technology. They made heavy investment into development. At one point, back in like the 50s and 60s, the American education system was probably one of the best, if not the best in the world. So what was happening is a lot of intelligent people from all over the world was coming to America. So when you have intelligent people coming into America, they have intelligent ideas. And so that a lot of times played in and helped the development of America. Now what's happening is a lot of countries all over the world are starting to catch up because not so many intelligent people are coming now. So America had taken advantage of those bright ideas, and they used it as a way of making money. And then they took that money and put it back into developing the infrastructure. You see that right now, as a matter of fact, if you look at what's happening.
But my question is, how is scientific culture spread among American people, American community?
I think the question might be, or I don't know, is the American society science-oriented?
I think that's changing. That the U.S. has always been, we consider ourselves very innovative. We invented the internet and lots of things. Blue jeans and did we invent the light bulb?
Who? The light bulb?
Yeah, is that in the U.S.?
Well, actually, Thomas Edison was credited with building the light bulb, but no, there was an African American who developed the filament for the light bulb.
But that was in the U.S.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so we invented
Yes.
the light bulb.
Yeah.
So the U.S. has always been very science and tech oriented, and now it's changing to more software based, hardware based, with like applications, Google, Amazon, Netflix. They're kind of the internet. We invented the internet as well, right? I don't know. Can you repeat? I'm sorry, I can't hear. Say it again.
It seems that you are vegan.
What?
She's
Vegan?
Vegan. Vegan. G-R-N.
Vegan. See, oh, you are a vegan, a vegetarian, a vegan.
I guess
Gerald.
It's not cleaning. So when you cook meat, you have to clean a lot. Okay? I hate cleaning. I hate it. So what I was doing is that I was buying meat, but I wasn't cooking it. So then I looked in my refrigerator one day and I saw all this meat piled up, and I was like, well, why am I buying it if I'm not going to eat it? So I just stopped eating it. And interestingly enough, that's one of the things that I love about Moroccan food is that there are other ways. Meat, one of the purposes of eating meat is to get proteins, right? And iron for women, okay? But there are other ways to get protein and iron. Here in Morocco, although there's a bean that's called a fava bean I can't eat, but there are other beans here and nuts that I can eat at the time. They're like chickpeas, they're lentils. Grind it up. You use a grinder, you grind it up, you put that in, you add water, and you add sugar or honey.
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 Yes.
Honey.
Jerome, this lemon, honey, and
Ginger.
hot water.
And
This
not
morning.
hot water, cold water.
Well,
Cold water. See, in America, lemonade is used as a summer drink.
Yeah.
So
Refreshing.
yes, refreshing. So we make it, especially in the summer. I make it all year round. So, but especially in the summertime, it's used as refreshing. So lemon, water, sugar, honey, and fresh skingebeard.
in
Right.
mints.
That's that's whatever floats your boat, as we say.
I just want you to imagine how long haven't I swallowed a sip of limna? Just a sip.
A sip.
How long? You count how many years?
Yeah.
Years. It's a matter of years.
Years. Minus.
Will you just
20
Will you
years.
just count from 1983?
To now.
I decided not to.
Really?
Well, I was a university student, and then I bought a limna. No need to label. Okay. When I opened it, I found something that, disgusting. No more details, and I decided to stop from that time. 1983.
Wow.
That's good.
Really?
A sip,
A sip?
even a sip.
Do you know how long it's been since I had lemonade?
How many years?
Huh? Me? No, I was in my apartment this morning. 8 o'clock this morning. The most interesting book about business? The most interesting book about business. Yeah, it's so many. The most interesting book that I found was not necessarily about business. It was about attitude. And the reason that was important to me is that because business is 95% attitude, okay? And what I mean by that is that you have to have a certain kind of personality, and you have to have a certain kind of mindset in order to go into business. And the reason is that because when you first open your business, you're not going to have any money, right? Statistically speaking, more businesses fail within the first 5 years than at any time. So it's going to take a certain kind of tenacity. And you know what tenacity means? Tenacity means, it just means you have to have a certain type of attitude that you're going to keep going no matter what. No matter what people say. Persistence. Okay? So you're going to have the right type of attitude to continue to go even when you don't have any money. Even when you're tired and you still have to make calls. Right? Or even when you, and for a woman, you know, even when you're tired, but you still have to go home and your husband or your family still needs you. So the best book that I've read about business more or less had to deal with developing the right kind of attitude, and it was called What Color Is Your Parachute?
Speakers today. Somebody volunteer? Yes. Normally we should chant them. Oh, quick. Read.
Thank you so much for what have you done today for us. It was a pleasure to talk to dialogue with you.
A photo all together. Just collective photo. Elisa. The whole class. And if you want to, well, manage yourselves. She's a testimonial.